Hello. With Alpay continue classical cookery techniques. How are you today? It's very dull outside. Que c'est triste Venise. The Shalna Aznavour. I've been outside for just walk, but it was raining. Overcast. It's dull. So come back to our mouton. Returnons on the mouton. So the subject was basic preparation methods. So we were left at shallow frying on the pan. Little butter, little oil, little butter. I never cook just oil, not the olive oil, sunflower oil, but you heat the pan first. Okay, you heat the pan first, your spoonful of sunflower oil or arachid oil, and get the meat outside 1 hour before, half an hour before. If you are going to cook steaks or if you are going to cook stroganoff, they must be in the room temperature. So you can cook either in the kitchen or at the gueridon service. Even pepper steaks and rossini, both. So this we call this shallow fry. You can cook the chicken as well. You can cook a schnitzel. First, we start when you heat the pan on the fire, on the flame. Then you add your oil, your meat or chicken or whatever else must be in the room temperature. You will have all the condiments there ready. What are you going to add? Chopped parsley, vegetables, and other garniture. I always add a little butter as well. The butter gives a color, don't forget, and give the taste. Not margarine. So all must be ready on your plate. Say if you are cooking 225 gram meat, you heat it, you put on the pan, get little brownish. Then you can hear from the sizzling of the oil on the pan. Return at the side, but don't play with the fire. Don't rise it up or down. Steady flame, steady heat, okay? If it is too hot, of course, you have to cut down a little bit the heat. When the both side is nice brownish, all depends how the customer wants. Does he want rare, medium, well done? Okay. Then you make the sauce as well. If it is medium, both sides are nice brownish, is medium. And medium, you can see also a red point on the surface of the meat when it comes out nicely. You take that on the side, then you finish the sauce. You deglaze, always deglazing in our cooking system. You deglaze it with the acid, vinegar, wine, red wine, white wine. Then you add your stock. The stock already you cooked it. Which kind of stock? Gravy is made by the stock. The gravy, if it is chicken gravy. If it is meat, is the brown meat, brown sauce. So you add it up, and if it is in the recipe to make it riches, you add cream, and you take the meat from the plate, put it again on the pan, and you cover it nicely with the sauce, amalgamate it. Then your vegetables will come, or the vegetables waiting there on the hot plate. Then start serving it and present it. That's it. On the pan, we call it sautoir, is normally you never put your finger there, have this hot heat out, but you can sizzling sounds tells you it's hot and it needs more heat, or reduce your heat, increase your heat. Okay, over 170 Celsius. Always hear the sizzling. While you're cooking it in the kitchen or on the griddle service, if by no means you are busy and you started your meat, you put your meat in a hot sauce, hot pan, and something happened and you put your pan on the side and you stop cooking. At that time, very bad things happening. Why? Because you put it on the side, the heat circulation stops. And that time the meat says, oh, what happened to me? There is no heat coming. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to relax. So if the meat relax, all the blood inside enclosed relaxes and let it go all the juice. And the red juice comes and you start again, the meat will be tougher because all the juice gone. It's going to be a little bit chewy, but the sauce will be nice, of course. So be careful of that. Then you start, continue and finish it and serve it. No halting. You can't say 5 minutes break, no. So usually happens because when the vegetables is not coming, the coming doesn't bring you the vegetables. Or the best thing is, we used to do, we take it everything together with the meat and vegetables, garniture, blah blah, and we had the electrical hot plate. So you put it on the guéridon for the vegetable, keeping warm nicely. On the side, other garniture and the meat. All right. In Turkey, unfortunately, customers always happy. Hot, cold, he doesn't complain. Only complain when there is no meat, no bread. If they run out bread, they call bread and salad. Evet, terms pan frying and shallow frying, we call it. In Turkish, tava, pan frying. And shallow frying, low heat. What you can cook on the pan, you can put anything. Bone filet, filet steak, and steak dayan, chicken, cutlet, lamb chops, and not the T-bone steak on the pan. But in the kitchen, yes, in the kitchen on the pan. Heavy pans we have. Heavy pans because you heat it first, and you can hardly left the pan. It heats first, then you put the oil, then your meat, T-bone steak for example, you can do it on the pan, or on the grill. If you do on the grill, you say T-bone steak, for example, one side is flat, other side is counterfilet, entrecote. So one side is softer, but tasteless. And entrecote is what? Tastiest. So while you cook it, you chefs normally put it, the meaty one, counterfilet, cooks first nicely, and filet steak cooks at the side, and it doesn't get dry. So there is an art how to make it. Then there is a sauce already ready for that. You don't make it on the pan. When you grill meat, always you have a sauce prepared in advance and kept warm, hot, not warm. Bordelaise sauce especially suits very nicely. If it is pepper steak, you make a pepper steak on the pan in front of the customer. But if you want to cook it in the kitchen, of course, you got your stocks already hot. To déglacer, you have your acid, whatever you want to déglacer for. And in Europe, always wine. Leftovers of wine from the kitchen, from the restaurant, and from the banquet, they bring it to the kitchen. Anyway, this is a shallow fry. 170 to 100. Usually little fat, okay? So we have a grilling. After that, grilling. Until now, what we done? We done the blanching, poaching, simmering, and boiling. Yes. Steaming and deep frying. Deep frying, we finished that. Shallow frying. And stroganoff, you want to make a stroganoff from the bone filet, okay? Pepper steak from bone filet. And veal escalope also. But the pane veal, we cook it in the kitchen because it makes so much oil splatter around. So preferably sometimes, if it is pane, you cook it on the à la nage, swimming in the oil. But with this pane with the butter, Venetian itself, for example, you cook it in a big pan. But it is flattened already, the beef or veal, flattened already. So pane, la française. Then cook it quickly, light brown, don't burn it. Sometimes the customer says, I am ready, and then somebody call her, then the garçon says, waiter says, look, he's busy, so it's cooked, what are you going to do? You can't cook it fried again, you put it in the oven. But don't close the oven door, because if it is closed, it starts burning, and all the pane appareil, harch, it gets darker. Suddenly you got a brownish things comes out, and the customer says, what the bloody is this? Evet, it's not shallow frying anymore, it's roasting. So grilling. Grilling is the most difficult one. It's a grill on the charcoal is different, like a barbecue, they call it charcoal, mangal in Turkish. Or is the gas heating grill. It must be clean all the time. It must be clean all the time. You have a brush, iron brushes. Clean all the time, and you got a sponge and clean between lines. Sometimes you put a little bit of water and get all the impurities, black things, you know. You don't want that. Always clean. So in England, that time I was there, it was a steakhouse blooming every corner in the city. There was a steakhouse. So grill man was the most wanted people. Nobody knew. And that grill, their heat comes on top. There's a special grill. In the restaurants or in the hotel restaurant, they usually heat underneath the gas heating, or mostly gas heating. But in these steakhouses, the heat up from the top, heat the iron griddle. So you clean it and heat it first, then little oil. Sometimes you don't need the oil because you put the meat in the oil and start grilling. Of course, the order comes one after another. It's the 2 meter long grill. If you cook the meat and you cook the grill steak, sirloin steak, and lamb chops, maybe you cook in the same time, so you have to watch all the time. England, mostly they prefer medium, not well done, but some people want well done. Only beef and lamb, no chicken. For chicken, there's another restaurant. So at the busy weekend, everybody goes for steakhouses, flesh steaks, this, and comes with automatically same vegetables for everybody. The heat burn all the time, flames all the time. If you put your hand, it's burn, of course. 200 Celsius, 220, 250 Celsius. If the meat is too thick, you don't put on high heat. But usually 125 gram, but some people want the 200 gram, 250 gram. And seal it first, then put it on the side, because the deeper is more heat, and you come nearest towards you is the heat lower. So you arrange with your pincers, you change places. This method, we call it the conduction method. 220, 260, we cook steaks, any meat, fish, poultry. For example, in Turkey, where we are, grill, always they do it on charcoal, not on an electric grill or coal grill or gas grill. So the guy has a large one, and fortunately some people want the small fishes fried, so he got a big frying pan. Typical season now is the small fish, sardine and sprout. We call it the Black Sea fish, anchovy. They clean it and they fry it. In Turkey, they like it well done. In Spain also, they're well done. In UK, usually they prefer with sauce. Grill and little butter, little vinaigrette sauce. Yes, transference agent, air, fats, and heat transfer agent, a method of heat conduction, grilling conduction, yes. Which machine we have any salamander, we call it. Grill and the pan, of course, we can cook the grilling like that. Conduction, grilling, conduction. Shallow frying is as well. Right, granating. Granating is gratine. Baking in the oven, we have two of them, is covered. Gratine is a heat on top. What we do, cook for it: fish, meat, poultry, vegetables, potatoes, pasta, ravioli. Convection oven, we can cook it about 250 degrees. Glazing, we done with the gratinating. Is heat comes from the on top, but it doesn't cook. It just glaze it. But the other day I was talking to you, smoked salmon slices with Hollandaise sauce. Only need to be heated and glaze it, or gratinate. You put on the heat and you watch it. They change color and give a nice color, a brownish color, and easily take it out. Or sometimes you put the meat, cook the meat, and on top of it you put some cheese. So to gratinate, you put it under the salamander, or in the oven if you don't have it. But you watch it. Then the cheese is melt, or any sauce, like a Café de Paris sauce, is about 1 dozen different sauces. When you cook the meat on the pan, you put the sauce and put under the grill. The meat already cooked, and the sauce like a butter, but with different kind of ingredient inside. Tomato, ketchup, we got bordelaise sauce, all the vegetables and spices. And when you put it, and the egg yolk as well inside. So what happens? It gets solid and glazed a little bit, so gratinating. Okay, some macaroni, once you cooked, well, lasagna for example, sometimes to gratinating you put extra cheese, put under the grill or in the oven. Gratinating. Baking in the oven. Other day, Hakan chef sent me his photo. He cooked the snapper, flat of snapper. Just seal it and put on a dish and cover with dough, like a bread dough, pie dough, and all the vegetables inside. It's like a beef Wellington. Beef Wellington, we explained before, what was it? And they usually cook it like a Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand, your bon filet, individual or for a table of 6, is a large one. Put on your, seal it first, then cover it with the Duxelles sauce. Duxelles sauce, what was it? Mushroom, chopped mushroom, shallots, small onion, salt and pepper, and chicken liver. And Madeira, mix it, parsley and thyme, everything. You cover bon filet, long one or small one, individual portion. So cover with the puff pastry and egg wash because if you don't put egg wash on puff pastry, egg wash, what is it? Milk. You don't put cream, milk, and yellow yolk of egg. Chop chop. And spread on top of the pastry and put it in the oven. 240 maximum. 180, 200. Of course, the order when the starter finish, and they will call you. You can cook it in advance and bake, because it loses the crispness. It gets soggy, the pastry. And if you don't put this egg wash, it doesn't sound colorish. Okay, doesn't look colorish. Baking in the oven. Typical food pastry baking, confectionery meat, poultry, pastry, hot air and convection oven. Normal oven and then convection oven. Hot air convection. Air goes like that and golden. The vegetables goes next to it. Okay. Roasting. Roasting, we know. British Isles is the best people using this kind of technique. On Sundays they have a roast. On a 5-star hotel restaurant, they have always on the menu a la carte plus today's roast dish. They have a tray with the piece of meat, côte filet or leg of lamb, rolled, boned and rolled and roasted. And it says on the menu a la carte, we have today blah blah starter and main course, plus today's roast is turkey, or today's roast is côte filet of beef. Say, they cook it in the kitchen, and before the 7:30 opening of in the evening, the restaurant, boom. Even some people, if it is a busy businessman restaurant in the hotel in the city, they have this lunchtime as well. Some people, they don't want it, just today's roast they want. You put the price, £50 price, because comes with the vegetables and things on the menu, plus dessert. Okay. But there is some techniques. For example, if you want to cook a roast turkey, and it cook in advance. But a la carte restaurants, for example, in my restaurant where I used to work, in winter time, they put game as well. Some game cook in advance. It's casserole. It's like a braising. In the future we will talk. And a la carte, the chef patron cook duck. Yes. You have your starter. By the time you finish your starter, maybe a prawn cocktail or so and so, and the duck comes, because the whoever takes the order, he says, look, 4 cover, and starter this that. The main course, one is casserole dish, like braising dish on the menu, and 2 wants the duck, and 1 have an omelette or something like that. So he announced, and soon as the chef say 2 ducks, take the ducks out and seal it and put it in the oven. Because by the time they will take the aperitif, then they will come to the table and they're having their starter. While they're having their starter, of course, they're having his first course drinks as well. Some people wants to continue with what he started, or open one starter, half a bottle something. Always is gourmet food works like that. Gourmet ceremony. Then while they are finishing, we don't hurry anybody. When they are eating starter, the guy there running, checking the duck, whole duck. One duck for 2 people. Okay, one side and leg. So here the prawn cocktail starter or pate is started. Okay, and maybe a cold salmon. He got pate. Usually goes very well. Everybody prefer pate. Evet, roasting. We roast and how we roast it? We put it in the oven first, seal it outside, then put it in the oven first. Then we see the grease comes from we take it out from the oven about 20 minutes later. We arrose. But the juice comes from with the heat in the oven. The duck, if it is duck, turn upside down and arrose. Get the juice and pour over, so it mustn't get dry. Or it can be quail. Cooks like that in the oven and check it like that. It's not easy. That's why you don't approach the guy. Hi, how are you? No, he will send you. He will tell you off. Of course, this is in the oven, but if you have like a kebab turning around, it's easy. While you cook, just finish it. But a la carte service like that is difficult. Conduction, roasting. What is it? Conduction technique, because air goes around in the oven. And we cook mainly poultry, game, and sometimes jacket potatoes. You cook like that. Braising is with 2 techniques. Braising with 2 techniques. When we cook dry. For example, contrefilet, entrecôte, or sirloin steak, contrefilet, biftek we call it in Turkish. You cook it on the pan and you put it in the oven with the juice. And you cover it. So cook it like that, like a steak à la flamande, braisé. And a contrefilet, you can cook either grill or on the pan. Also sometimes joints, for example, leg of lamb. We cook it braising styles. Again, degree in the oven is 200 Celsius. We brown both sides, as I say. Sometimes before browning, we put it in the flour first. Both sides brown in the fat, then put it in the oven. They will put it hot stock, gravy, and cover it with the tray on top of it and put it in the oven. Sometimes plenty onion, like a à la flamande style. In Turkey, we don't have this yet. Because people, they are not used to, they can't afford to eat confilet, bon filet. hardly you see bonfile. And pepper steak and cooking. We done it long. It first time in Istanbul when I was F&B department. We put it on the menu. And steak down, we put the filet steak. And people hardly asked except the foreigner. Steak down is the biggest seller because it's a thin meat. Yes, this is the braising steaks we do mainly for the large group. We cook like that, and you cook it in advance and you keep it. So braising degree is what, 180 to 200 Celsius. The method always seal first, mühürlemek, seal first. Then you add the stock, and then you cover it and braise. Okay, and time to time you check it how they done, and you put your vegetable in advance. Okay, this is gratinate, baking in oven. Bacon have to be done. Roast beef or covered with pastry. Roasting, joint of leg, whole chicken or whole turkey or whole duck. Whole duck in Turkey they don't do it yet. In a pastry they don't do it, but they will like it, of course, if somebody does. Always around 200-250 Celsius. Of course, you need the equipment for it, of course. And also braising. You cook it in advance and it's ready waiting. You can join chicken leg, Provençal is ideal. Okay, so this is the ideal braising weather. It's overcast, it's cool, you can see the winter coming. So you start your roast or braising. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Take care, bye bye, all the best.